Hey everybody, Ben here for the Bonehead podcast, and it's Chaos Dwarf release weekend. We've got our hands on the Chaos Dwarf Spike, and I know that you've seen the stats for the players and the team and the costs, but the Spike is still full of loads of cool stuff, and I want to show it off on video. And a big thank you to Entoyment Wargaming in Poole for letting us get our hands on the gear a few days early so we can have a proper look at it. They're our friendly local gaming store. We hold our tournaments at their event or with some of their other events because they are just great. Great people, great prices. Love Entoyment, so support them if you can. Let's have a look at the Spike magazine. Okay, so Spike issue number 18. Camera's a little wonky, but I'll have to figure that out. I love the Spike magazines. So what we're going to do, we're not going to be exhaustive in this, but I do want to show it all off because I do think it's really worthwhile. So you've got the usual kind of guff about like just place setting for the team. Really useful. Then you've got what I think is a really cool breakdown of the actual Chaos Dwarf team. So the story here, Chaos Dwarves were banned from Blood Bowl, and then now because the NAF in World have fallen apart, they are now unbanned. They're returning to Blood Bowl. So the first thing you've got is a breakdown of each of the positionals. Now, Hobgoblins, all right, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at a couple of this. The Hobgoblin Sneaky Stabber, let's see what the book actually says about this. Even among one of the most devious and underhanded creatures in the known world, there are some hobgoblins that are so predictably traitorous and reliable at stabbing people in the back, they are encouraged to do so by the Chaos Dwarves. Armed with anything from rusty shanks to the expertly forged blades of their masters, these devious troublemakers are tasked with applying the knife to any troublesome opponents during games. Okay, so the background there for the Sneaky Stabber, and then I want to check out the background for the Flamesmith as well, because that's the other new position, all right? You've got the Chaos Dwarves, they're still Chaos Dwarves. You've got Hobgoblins, they're still Hobgoblins. The Bull Centaurs and the Minotaur are still the same things with a couple of tweaks, right? The Flamesmith is brand new. Studying under the tutelage of the wise and powerful Chaos Dwarf sorcerers are the fanatical Flamesmiths. These zealous pyromaniacs ensure that the many forges of the Chaos Dwarves and Hashut sacrificial fires never dim. Their love for their god matched only to the passion for starting fires and sacrificing those who foolishly failed to embrace the benevolent teachings of Hashut and Nuffle, says editor. Okay, so studying under the tutelage of the wise. So these guys are like sorcerer engineers, which makes sense because the model itself is just drinking some alchemical material. They're kind of like disgruntled engineers that like playing with fire, which I think is befitting of a dwarf of the chaos variety. So then you got the roster. I know you've seen the roster already, so there's no surprises there. Breathe fire, we've done that. Updated skill. Opposing players cannot modify armor rolls made against this player. In addition, the claw skill cannot be used when making an armor roll against this player. We knew that. Eligible star players. I think we've gone through this list. If not, Acorn, interesting once you've got some guard. The Black Gobbo, fun to stab things. Bomber. Bomber. Fungus is also great. Glance useful. Grack and Crumbleberry. Yeah, probably not going to do a huge amount for you on this team. Going to be fun. Okay, don't get me wrong. Grack and Crumbleberry are always fun. Hackflem. Yeah, Hackflem's not bad. Have I been spelling Hackflem wrong this entire time, or have they? Or has it always been CK? Helmet Wolf, yeah, chainsaws are useful. Hathark the Unstoppable. Do you know what? Pricey star at 300. But pretty good. I've come around on Hathark. If you can afford him, I think he'll do a really good job. I'm not convinced he'll win you the game, but he's still going to be really good. Creek is a legend. Borak is also a legend. Morg is also a legend. Oh, dude, when 2020 started, the first like tournament year, I ran up against a Chaos Dwarf team running Morg and Hackflem. It was just egregious. There you go, Bryden. Noble Blackwall, yeah, cheap chainsaw, wicked. Rashnak backstabber, double stab man, interesting. Scrapper, okay, scoring support, I guess. Varag, not sold on Varag, but another cheap-ish big guy, I suppose. With the grass double draw, Zarg, Mad Eye. Some interesting stars. I mean, the fact they can take Hackflem is massive. Where is Skitter Stab? Maybe Skitter can't be taken my favourite of. Maybe not. We'll have to double check that one. It's my favourite page. So this is my favourite bit in the Spike. I say this about lots of stuff, don't I? I do like this though. So you've got some bits there about a few famous or infamous Chaos Dwarf teams. And this is the reason I like this so much is because it you've got the team, the Tsar, Nagar and Ziggurats that they focus on, that this book is focused on, the box set is focused on. But Blood Bowl is about building up story. That's what we've seen. That's what, oh God, that's the best thing. Whether you're going to a tournament, you're building up the story of that one event, or whether you're playing in a league, or just love the models. Like, you build a story for your team. They build an identity. Your players come alive, whether they level up and get injured and fired and hired. And it's just wicked. So seeing what I would consider seeds of a story for you to kind of brew up your own Chaos Dwarf team, absolutely love it. So you've got Hashut's Harbingers, the Ash Ridge Infernos, the Uzkalak Undertakers, and the Hobgoblin team. So it's rare for a Hobgoblin to be recognised as an icon of the sport at the best of times, but it's even more difficult for them to show off what skills they do have when they play along mighty Bull Centaurs and indomitable Chaos Dwarfs. In an effort to show that Hobgoblins can reach the top of the sport, a group of the Skulking creatures formed a team of their own and set about preparing for Blood Bowl glory. However, the only thing the Hobgoblin team was able to prove is something we already know. You can only trust a Hobgoblin as far as you can throw one. You should be able to throw Hobgoblins. That'd be wicked. A Hobgoblin team, such a fun element of Blood Bowl. It's interesting because I don't think a team made entirely of Hobgoblins is actually as bad as you'd think. They're vanilla, sure, and I think you should be able to take a Minotaur, because why would you not? But I just don't think it's that bad. Movement 6, Edge 3+, Strength 3 is fine, especially at 40k. You're going to have a ton of inducements. I think the Hobgoblin team is better than you think it is, especially because they get one touchdown. They got General, right? You just take a random General on your lineman. You're going to end up with some guys with shorthand, some guy with block, wrestle, tackle. It's going to be fine. Like, it's going to be actually fine. Totally fine. Not great, but fine. Then you've got the Tsar, Nagar and Ziggurats. This is another fun part of this. So this is a team of legend, Hall of Fame team. So they give you a roster, an example roster of this team with some of like the levels up from this story. So this team has got Zarg Mad-Eye. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. Guard, Frenzy, nice. Mighty Blow +1, yeah. Grab, yeah, that's fine. You got 2 Flamesmiths, Brawler, Breathe Fire to 7, no level up there. Brawler, Breathe Fire to 7 presence, Tackle on a Flamesmith. Yeah, I mean, at movement 5, I guess it gives you a bit of an advantage. Centaur Blitzer with block. Centaur Blitzer with sure hands, yeah, fine. The Bull with no level ups. Sidestepping Stabber, a Vanilla Stabber, a couple of Dirty Player Hobgoblins, and a Dirty Player Sneaky Git Hobgoblin. Who's that lad? That's good work. Ziktuk. 3 rerolls, 5 dedicated fans, and all the stuff there. So here's their special power. That is Zarg Mad-Eye's power. This is the Hall of Fame ones. This team comes in 1.8 million. Chaos Dwarves have always been fantastic at maintaining pressure on their opponents throughout the game, whereas Hobgoblins tend to keep the pressure on an opponent's throat with the often sharpened heel of their boots. Oh, okay, fine. Stiletto wearing Hobgoblins. It's good to be inclusive. Once per game, at the start of any of the Tsar, Nagar and Ziggurats team turns, their coach may use his ability until the end of the current team turn. Any number of Hobgoblins may declare a foul. that's brutal. That is brutal, especially when you've got 2 DP on the line. Here we go. We've got the first of the Star Player Spotlight. Did our videos come first? Probably not. Right, Zarg Mad-Eye. We've done a Star Player Spotlight video for him. 130k for the shoot guy. The gun ability, a lot of fun. His stats are a little confusing. He will be useful. He's got a secret weapon. So the only issue here is that he's got a secret weapon. While he's on the pitch, he's going to be useful. Like, Strength 4 is always good. The fact that he's got sure hands and a little bit of a pass ability is going to be useful sometimes. He's like the, you know, you've got like the jack of all trades, and then you've got the master of none. He's the other one, which is like, I'm familiar with a whole bunch of stuff. Not quite jack of trades level, but he does have a gun, so that's quite cool. Career highlights for Zarg Mad-Eye. Then you've got the big boy himself, Hathark, 300k. Basically, 300k. He's got break tackle, so he's dodging out 2+ all the time if he wants to. He's got defensive, he's got juggernaut, he's got block, so he's got a ton of like combat engagement skills. He's strength 6, and when he blitzes, you get to re-roll a single block dice. So he's basically 3-die blitzing most of the time with block. That, in my opinion, that and the fact that he's essentially movement 9 means he's a very reliable star player. He's expensive at 300k. It's tough to say whether he's ever going to be the best choice. But if you take the Thark, he's going to make a huge impact on the game, and he's not going to let you down quite so brutally, I think, as some other star players. Right, here we go. I love the team spotlight bits, but this is why I buy the spikes. So we got Wasteland Leagues here. So basically, this is for running a league in the Wastelands. That's terrible. I might try and edit that bit out if I remember. Right, the Darklands Derby. So we've got the league special rules. Some of these spike magazines, started with the Necromantic one. Is it all of them? Have got these special league rules, and they're really fun. You've got a special weather, you've got a special kickoff table, you've got special inducements. So the first thing we start with here. So down and dirty. Focus is a little bit off, so that's. Dwarf teams are no stranger to a little underhand play. In fact, many Chaos Dwarf fans will come away from games disappointed if the number of fouls performed doesn't hit double figures. This love for dirty tricks seems to rub off on everyone in attendance at the Darklands Derbies. So for the duration of the Darklands Derby, coaches apply +1 modifier and rolling on argue the call. So in this league, if you argue the call, it succeeds in a 5 or 6. You still get sent off on a 1 though. And this I love. And this is going to be interesting. We did say we'd use some of these rules for either the next 11s or 7s tournament, not tournament, series we do. And it could be interesting. We might run. I feel like you've got to have a Darklands pitch. If I can rustle up a pitch before we start 7 Super Series, we'll roll with this. Because whenever a player causes a casualty with a foul action, they get 2 SPP exactly as if they'd cast using a block action, which I think is really cool, and especially for like a team that wants to foul. Chaos Dwarves in this edition, yeah, I mean, it's an expensive team. You will normally, well, you've got to try and stack it so that you've got a couple of spare hobgoblins. So they're not the worst team to put the boot in for, but like there's a load of teams that will benefit from that. So that's the overall league rule. Then they've got the Dwarf Sorcerer. So 100 Chaos Dwarf Sorcerer, sorry, get that right. 150k available to any team. Once per game, a Chaos Dwarf Sorcerer may cast one of the 2 spells listed below. Brimstone Barrage. Target up to 2 standing opposition players anywhere on the pitch and roll a dice. For each selected player, on a 5+, they are knocked down. When a player is knocked down by Brimstone, apply a +1 modifier to the armor roll. So, straight up, choose 2 guys, and on a 5+, you roll each of them. So you get 2 5+ shots to knock down 2 guys that then get mighty blowed into the ground. Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty good. I think, like, obviously, Zap from the olden times is the best, right? Because it's mostly just like a 2+, yeah, 2+ turn him into the frog. Lightning on a 3+ normally is really useful too. 4+ is kind of like your fail case, which is Fireball. Fireball might be better if you want an AoE, but the fact you can hit 2 different targets, so you can go for the ball carrier and the edge of the cage. In that circumstance, Flame would have been better. You can open up and just hit 2 of their ball carriers, like, you know, they've brought Hack Phlegm. You can just 5+ stack Hack Phlegm with a mighty blow. Reasonable. Stone Boots. The sorcerer channels the petrifying magic that affects their own body and directs it towards their opponent's swiftest player, slowing them to a crawl. Target any opposition player that is not holding the ball and roll a dice. On a 3+, their movement allowance is reduced by 2, and they have a -1 to the edge test when dodging, jumping or leaping until the end of the drive, or 1-2, the player's footwork is too fancy. So 3+, they get slower. No, I mean, unless they've got jump up, stacking them into the ground is going to be better. I can see that thematic might come in handy at some points, but I think I'd rather hit them with something that rolls against their armor. There we go. So the Obsidian Ziggurat Trophy gives you an extra reroll each half, so that's definitely worth fighting for and winning for, because that's definitely 50 to 70k off your TV in a league. So, Wasteland, Weather Table, Ash Cloud, a thick cloud of grey ash has washed over the field and killed visibility. Players may not perform pass actions. Additionally, players will not be sent off rolling double when performing a foul action. Even an honest referee would be struggling to see underhanded play in these conditions. So, this is extreme weather. So, on a double 1, you can't pass at all, and you can't get sent off for fouling. Monstrous. Volcanic fallout. The local volcano has right, calm down, Siri. Has started spitting flame rocks from its summit, forcing players to keep an eye on the burning projectiles as well as their opponents. While this weather condition is in effect, at the end of each team turn, roll the d6 on a 1. A single randomly selected player on the active team is bludgeoned by a falling rock and is immediately knocked down. So At the end of every turn, roll a dice. On a 1, one random player on your team gets knocked down. So that is knocked down and armor roll. Calm and clear. Choking smog. While this weather is in play, players will not rush. Jeez, this is brutal. And tectonic tremors. At the end of every team turn, roll a dice for each standing player on the active team. Each standing player on a 1, they are placed prone. Dude, Ash Wasteland is brutal. No passing, but free fouling. On a 1, a guy gets beaten into the ground. Choking smog, you can't rush. And then this one is just roll a dice for everybody all of the time and they fall over. That is brutal. That's some serious weather. I mean, there's us complaining about sweltering heat in the championship. Then you've got the kickoff table, which I'm not going to read through, but basically high kick through quick snap is the same. There's no blitz. And there's some cool stuff involving earthquakes as well. I love the stuff that adds a load of theme. You don't want to use it for every game. So I've rethought that using these rules for every game in the championship, because they're just probably too many. I think with these games, they're great for a one-off. If you're using the Chaos Dwarf pitch, then you want to chuck these in. Like, that's quite fun. So the pitch has got 2 sides. The pitch is on the table. You'll see that on Monday Night Blood Bowl this week. So oppressive heat on a standard. So this is the normal side. The dry air and stifling temperature have quickly exhausted the players charging around on the gridiron, making post-beatdown recovery much more difficult than usual. Players recover from KOs on 5+ instead of a 4+. Additionally, at the end of the first half, flip the board over and fire happens. So, when you're on the eruption side, there is some flamey parts of the pitch. Players attempting to rush suffer -1 all of the time. So -1 to rush, so good luck Norse players. Drunken and in a volcano. Success. Additionally, there are 4 3 square by 3 square areas on the pitch, 2 in each half. When playing a game on the eruption side of the volcanic layer pitch, any squares in these areas are considered lava pool squares. Whenever a player is knocked down or falls over in a lava pool square, +1 modifier. So the ground is lava. Oh, quality. Okay, so the ground is lava in a certain... okay, yeah, we're running that on Monday Night Blood Bowl this week. Then you've got Chaos Dwarf Balls. 1 is -1 to your movement and agility while you're carrying it. And 1 is Hot Potato. Basically, you have to roll a 3+ at the end of your activation with a player with the ball, or they drop it. Doesn't cause a turnover, but it's just the ball is hot. Coffin Corner, Chat with the Rat, some good stuff, fluffy bits. Then we've got the Pro Playbook, and you've got breakdown of the roles of each of the players. I do really like the way they do these articles. I just think they're done really well. And then you've got some starting rosters. Tough. It's really tough to pick a starting roster for Chaos Dwarves in this edition. You've got the Flamesmiths, you've got the Sneaky Stabbers. The Sneaky Stabbers don't necessarily make the cut. The Flamesmiths are not as good as the Chaos Dwarf blockers, and they're not as good as the Bull Centaurs. So you kind of... you got to play creative accountancy. Basically, Jimmy Carr is the only person in the world that can get an entire lineup. So 2 examples, and it talks about why you'd take them. I feel like we've done that a lot on the channel, including Ben's one from our last podcast, right? Team development. So these are the players and these are the skills and the stats that they can take. I do like that. Hobgoblin lineman. It says block, shorthands, dirty player and kick. Realistically, it's any general random. Just take if they score a touchdown, take the random general and see what happens. Hobgoblin sneaky stabber, block, fend. Sure. Chaos Dwarf blocker, guard, grab, mighty blow, tackle. Yeah. The Flamesmith, block, guard, iron hard skin, pro. Yeah, I think pro. If you're going to use them as a standard blocker, then block is obviously really useful, but I think pro is going to help you. You've got Brawler Pro, so you kind of get, you know, a little bit benefit there. It's going to help you when you want to use your Flame Ball as well. Ball Centaur Blitzers, block, guard, break, tackle, shorthands, tackle, yeah, sure thing. Minotaur, Ironhide Skin, Juggernaut. It's Juggernaut, then Ironhide Skin in my butt, but I think that's pretty fair. It talks about fouling with them. Then you've got some setups. Now, Chaos Dwarf setup's really interesting because you've got a whole mixture of different players, and I think it does a good job of kind of explaining where you want them. So, you know, you've got the Bull Centaur out here on the side to be a linebacker or to be a big chunky blitzer that can either potentially get the ball or just try and react to your opponent, because that is a movement 9, strength 4 blitzer basically. So he's got the ability to be everywhere. Your Chaos Dwarf blockers with armor 1,000,000 are just best placed on the line. Your Hobgoblins are backing them up. You've got the Flamesmiths who are a little bit looser around the line. You can chuck them on the line to support, but actually you want to keep them mobile support, which is challenging because they've got Brawler. When your guard guys start cooking, then the Brawler starts being a lot better. Then you've got Stabby, McGee, Rashnak Backstabber. Don't know if I did this star player spotlight for him yet. I tend to wait till the models out, but actually Rashnak. So movement 7, strength 3, edge 3 plus, passing 5 plus, armor 8 plus. Got Toxin Connoisseur, shadowing sidestep. He's going to be a good little assassin. No dodge, no extra ability to score other than the +1 movement is a bit of a shame. The fact you get to apply +1 to your injury roll when you make a successful stab will come in handy, assuming you can get a good stab him with him. So +1 movement, 130k, not going to be a ubiquitous pick there. Right, Dungeon Bowl. Oh, love Dungeon Bowl. It is such good fun. Where are the Chaos Dwarves? Headed for Dungeon Bowl. So blockers and flamesmiths will go to the College of Fire. The College of Fire is tank now, right? You've got Seekers. Oh no, they're metal. You've just got dwarves, more dwarves, ogres. Yeah, all right. College of Fire is stacked. The beasts get the bull centaurs, and the shadows get hobgoblins and sneaky stabbers. You can get up to 4 bull centaurs. That's going to be quite interesting. This flamesmiths are special. The stabbers are special, so you can only take 0 to 2 of those. So interesting enough. I don't know. I mean, having a 40k strength 3 lineman might be useful actually for shadows, but only as a way to kind of change cost. And I don't know if they're much better than a goblin. In Dungeon Bowl, you want that extra bit of dodge. And then you've got the comic, which is always really good, and more art. I do love the models. I've got mine over there, primed in orange, ready to go. Because I don't think we'll have them ready for Monday Night Blood Bowl, so we might have to use Punga's team. But Ben paints a little bit better than I do, so I'm happy to use Punga's team. But yeah, I like the Spike magazine. I'm always a big fan of Spike magazines. And this one, you got a good breakdown of the team. You got a lot of fluff stuff in there for star players, for the ziggurats, for other teams as well, which I really like. And you got some fun extra league rules, an extra bit of inducement rules there with the Chaos Dwarf Sorcerer. It's a Spike magazine. If you like Blood Bowl and you like reading stuff about Blood Bowl, then this is just really good fun. Coming in at 36 pages, it's not lengthy. Tiff was like, oh, a magazine. I was like, do you know what? Yes. All right, technically it's a journal. But it's just good fun. It's better than any White Dwarf you'll ever buy, and it's about 1/10 the size. So if you're a Blood Bowl fan and you like Spike magazines, it's worth a read. Treat yourself and just enjoy the fluff for Chaos Dwarves. But for now, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking.